What we now call Black History Month was originated in 1926 by Carter G. Woodson as Negro History Week. The month of February was selected in deference to Frederick Douglass and Abraham Lincoln, who were both born in that month. Further, the NAACP was founded in February and just celebrated its 100th anniversary. Carter G. Woodson founded the Association for the Study of Negro Life and History in 1915 to train Black historians and to collect, preserve, and publish documents on Black life and Black people. He also founded the Journal of Negro History, Associated Publishers, and the Negro Bulletin. Woodson spent his life working to educate all people about the vast contributions made by Black men and Black women throughout history. Mr. Woodson died on April 3, 1950, and Black History Month is his legacy. I am privileged to commend several trailblazers within the 11th District from the African American community. I'd like to begin with Judge Jean Murrell Capers, who is a remarkable individual and a community icon. On the night of President Obama's inauguration, while the world celebrated change, we honored this stalwart in our community who also helped to make that moment possible. Judge Jean Murrell Capers is one of those individuals, as she deserved to be recognized for her years of dedication to promoting diversity among elected officials and serving, protecting, and upholding the laws of Ohio and this nation. Judge Capers graduated from Case Western Reserve University in 1932. She began her career as an educator and earned her JD from Cleveland Law School in 1944. She was admitted to the Ohio Bar in 1945 and began practicing law that same year. In 1949, she became the first African American woman elected to the Cleveland City Council. She was elected 4 subsequent times to 2-year terms. Beginning in 1964, Judge Capers began to work tirelessly for a Black mayor. Though many doubted her efforts, she was audacious enough to hope. Cleveland's first Black mayor, the Honorable Carl Stokes, was elected 3 years later. In 1977, Ms. Capers was appointed Cleveland Municipal Judge and was re-elected, but was forced to retire in 1986 because of an Ohio law that requires judges to retire at the age of 70. At the current age of 96, Judge Capers is the oldest active member of the National Bar Association in our district. She is still actively involved in the community and mentors the next generation of leaders. It is my privilege to recognize my friend, my sorority sister, and mentor, and an unsung hero, and want to say to her that she is so special to us that on January 22nd, a flag was flown over our nation's capital in her honor. I'd like to as well recognize Dr. John B. Turner. John B. Turner was a Tuskegee Airman. He was the first Black commissioner to be elected in East Cleveland, the first Black dean at Case Western Reserve University, and the first Black dean of any school of social work across this country. He also served the State Department in Zambia, Ethiopia, Kenya, and Uganda early in his career. He was a Fulbright scholar who led a voting drive for the National Council of Churches and stumped also for Carl Stokes as mayor of the city of Cleveland. Mr. Speaker, there is another. There is Dr. William O. Walker, who was a prominent journalist, publisher, and political leader in Cleveland, Ohio for much of the mid to late 20th century. W. O. Walker was born in 1896 in Selma, Alabama. He studied at Wilberforce University and Oberlin Business College and began a career in journalism. In 1932, he became the publisher and editor of the Cleveland Call and Post, one of the most influential African American newspapers in the United States. Walker used this weekly paper to educate the community about racial injustices occurring in both Cleveland and across the United States. He built the newspaper into one of the largest Black weeklies in the nation. As its publisher, he became a power in Cleveland, speaking out for civil rights and exposing discrimination and wrongdoing. and exposing discrimination and wrongdoing. Besides being an editorial voice, he was a mighty political force in the Republican Party. He was a councilman in the 40s and in the 60s became Ohio's first black cabinet member as Industrial Relations Director for Governor James A. Rhodes. At the time of his death, he was under consideration by President Ronald Reagan to become chairman of the U.S. Civil Rights Commission. And lastly, Mr. Speaker, I'd like to recognize Mr. Wayne Embry. Wayne Richard Embry was born in 1937 in Springfield, Ohio. He is a retired basketball player. He was a center forward whose 11-year career spanned from 1959 to 1969. He played for the Cincinnati Royals, the Boston Celtics, and the Milwaukee Bucks, all of the NBA. He attended Miami University and Tecumseh High School in New Carlisle, Ohio. Before that, he played in the NBA All-Star Game for 5 consecutive seasons, from 1961 to 1965, and won the NBA championship with the Celtics in 1968. After retiring as a player, he became the first African-American NBA general manager, managing the Milwaukee Bucks from 1971 through 1979, the Cleveland Cavaliers from 1986 to 1999, and the Toronto Raptors in 2006. He was selected NBA Executive of the Year in 1992 and 1998. He was enshrined in the Basketball Hall of Fame in 1999, not as a player, but as a contributor. Mr. Embry is a member of Alpha Phi Alpha fraternity, the first intercollegiate Greek letter fraternity established for African Americans. Mr. Speaker, I want to thank all of my colleagues for their participation in this evening. It is important that all Americans understand that Black history. Again, Mr. Speaker, I would like to yield to my colleague, the gentlelady from the Virgin Islands. Mr. Speaker, I will close with this last unsung hero, Dr. Julian Earls. Dr. Julian Earls has been referred to as a Renaissance man, holding 8 university degrees. He earned a bachelor's degree in physics from Norfolk State University in Norfolk, Virginia, a master's degree in radiation biology from the University of Rochester School of Medicine and Dentistry in Rochester, and a doctorate degree in radiation physics from the University of Michigan in Ann Arbor. He completed the equivalent of the master's degree in environmental health at the University of Michigan and is a graduate of the program for management development at Harvard Business School. He was awarded the honorary doctorate of science degree by the Vaughn College of Aeronautics in New York, the honorary Doctor of Pedagogy degree from Nova Southeastern University in Florida, the honorary Doctor of Humane Letters degree by North Carolina A&T State University, Norfolk State University, and Wilberforce University in Ohio. In January 2006, Dr. Earls retired as Director of the National Aeronautics and Space Administration Glenn Research Center at Lewis Field in Cleveland, Ohio, after a career spanning more than 40 years. As director of NASA Glenn from 2003 to 2005, he managed a budget in excess of $600 million and a workforce of over 3,000 employees. He was responsible for planning, organizing, and directing the activities required to accomplish the center's mission that included research, technology, and systems development programs in aeronautical propulsion, space propulsion, space power, space communications, and microgravity sciences in combustion and fluid physics. He is the author of 30 publications and has been a distinguished honors visiting professor at numerous universities. As a NASA executive, he has received medals for outstanding leadership, exceptional achievement, and distinguished service. He received the Meritorious Executive Presidential Rank Award from President William J. Clinton in 1999 and from President George Bush in 2004. Dr. Earls has received many humanitarian awards and founded an organization that provides college scholarships to Black students. As a mentor, he has guided many students through college and the professions. Recognized internationally for his oratorical skills, Dr. Earls is a Jennings Foundation Distinguished Scholar Lecturer. In addition to his many scholarly and work-related accomplishments, Dr. Earls is an athlete. He has completed 25 marathons, including the Boston Marathon, and was honored to carry the Olympic torch on its route through Cleveland for the 2002 Olympic Games in Salt Lake City, Utah. He is a member of the Boule and holds life membership in Kappa Alpha Psi fraternity and the NAACP. Mr. Speaker, I thank you. I thank my colleagues, and again, I thank this nation for recognizing that Black history is indeed American history. Thank you very much.